Alright, I wanted to do one more because I got something I wanted to go over with everybody. And if you're listening, great. If not, and you catch this later, that's great too. I have a challenge I'm putting out to everybody today. A kindness challenge. Now, it's not just about talking to people. My question is, how many times has somebody done something good for you in the last, I don't know, couple months, couple weeks? What I want to do is I'm going to do a challenge, and I've actually done this before with myself, and I've done it many, many times. If somebody does something good, I find out, like if I'm at a store and somebody goes out of their way to help me, because one of the last ones I did, I had a beautiful young lady who basically she went out of her way to help me. She was younger. She just looked like she was kind of stressed, and and so, but you know, she went that extra step. It had nothing to really do with the way somebody looks or anything like that. That means nothing. It's just a compliment I give people. But what she did was, she didn't have to be nice. She didn't have to smile. She didn't have to be courteous. I know businesses always tell people, you got to do this, you know. But we live in a free society. So what I did was I called Hy-Vee. I asked for the store manager. And I brought it to the attention of the store manager that this particular person went above what they needed to do, and they did an outstanding job, and I was impressed, and I was proud that, you know, I did my business there. I have called County Market before, and for people that one of them, the guy's name's Richard, just because he's so friendly and nice, and he puts you in a better mood. Okay. I have been around lifeguards in swimming pools before where they didn't know I was paying attention to them. And I have watched them help people with disabilities, or I've seen them, you know, take extra matters to help out, because I've also seen some of the laziest people. But what I did was, instead of calling on anything negative, anytime I see positive, I'll actually call a store, a restaurant, a business. I've seen places where dishwashers before, that wash dishes somewhere, a lady fell on ice, and this person helped them up and everything else, and the lady was very grateful, and they called an ambulance, and she had no clue what he did. But I saw the kindness in this guy's heart, and so I knew where he worked, or at least I found out where he worked. Not because I was stalking, just because some other people said it. And I called and I let his boss know about the kindness he showed, and I told the lady, you know, where he works and everything else, and believe it or not, they went in there and started eating and stuff like that. And you never know what that's going to do to somebody. You never know what kind of mood they are in. It just took me a couple minutes to call up the place, and it's like, hey, they're doing an outstanding job. You know those things on the back of trucks where it says, you know, call and say how I'm doing? How many people have ever done it? I've seen some truck drivers at truck stops go out of their way with kindness for people, because I deal a lot with trucking and military, and they don't even know that people are watching them, but they're in the public. And I've called their companies to let them know how great they were doing, and I have no ties to those companies. I have no, you know, fight in the battle whatsoever. But what did that do to that person when they were told that their kindness was recognized? Okay, I've gone through drive-thrus before. One of them was KFC, and the lady literally went out of her way to make sure I had fresh chicken, to make sure that, and she didn't need to, I just wanted my chicken to go, but she put her heart behind it, and I'm like, you work at KFC, why are you? And I literally had to call the manager to let them know, oh my God, this person put me in a better mood, because they held the standards that corporations wish and hope that each one of their employees are doing. But let's face it, if you're making minimum wage at a place, more than likely you're going to get the teenager that's, I'm working, they don't care too much. You know, you don't have to say nothing to those, you don't got to call it, but you know, if they do something and they go that extra mile, okay? I have seen, and I've done this also, just giving people examples. The Salvation Army, you know, when the bell ringers and stuff. I have seen some of the greatest bell ringers. I know that sounds weird, but they literally go out of their way to put you in a good mood, to do whatever they can, and they're volunteers. I have called the Salvation Army about these people, or Youth Corps volunteers over at Blessing Hospital, or over at hospitals when you have the men's service that go around, men and women that go around, and or candy stripers and stuff. I have, and the reason why I do it is so others will do it. The reason why I do it is so that if I have a friend or something that's doing good, because a lot of my friends feel like no one is paying any attention to them whatsoever. But the whole reason why we do it is we don't know these people, but they did something positive. They did something that went above what, the normal everyday person does. They didn't just go to work to get a paycheck. They went to work that day to change lives. They went to work that day not caring about their little salaries, but caring about how somebody felt, caring about, if we treat this company good, other people will come in here, which means they're going to keep the jobs going. They went out of their way without having to. And that's why I'm encouraging anybody to start finding a way, finding those that do great, and calling and giving compliments. Calling corporate, not even the stores, and let them know about the great job certain people, instead of calling about all the negativity and stuff, call about how great people are, okay? One of the big ones with me is, take for instance, nurses over at like vets homes, nursing homes, stuff like that. When I see people going out of their way, I know that all nurses are not going to go out of their way, but majority of them do. But some go even above and beyond that. They go above and beyond what they normally would do. And so what I'm encouraging everybody, here's the challenge. In the next day and a half, next 24, 48 hours, find somebody that's doing something good, get a phone number, and call and tell that business or company how great they're doing. Don't tell them who you are. Don't tell them what you do. Just tell them the kind thing that they did, how they made you feel. Say thank you very much, and hang up the phone. You have to police yourself on this one, everybody. I can't tell you who's going to do good or who's going to do bad. But in a world where everybody's so wanting to go after each other, man, this is a perfect opportunity for you to pick up the phone and call about how great somebody is doing. Maybe the bank, maybe you call the bank and the people went out of their way to take care of you. There's no reason why you can't call back in to give a compliment on that person. How are we doing type situations, okay? Maybe somebody on Amazon answered the phone and they did a great job for you. So you want to call and say, hey, they didn't have to do all this. They didn't have to take the time for me. I was on a phone call today with my company, and and the guy went out of his way to help. And he works from home, and he didn't have to do that. But he did a phenomenal job. And these are what make people come back to businesses. This is what makes people great. So that's the reason why I'm telling you, that's your challenge for today. That's what I'm asking each and every one of you to do, is to call in, say and do something great for somebody, be great for somebody, and go from there.